Tilly Good, Volunteer Development Specialist with Iowa 4-H Youth Development. Today we are going to look at our work with young people and providing youth of all abilities the opportunity to be a 4-H member. This is particularly helpful in our work to support the essential element of creating inclusive settings. Many of you have young people with special needs in your 4-H program. Several resources were created in 2015 to help ensure our Iowa 4-H program is inclusive for young people with special needs. Some of our youth program specialists work with Dr. Linda Lind from Iowa State University's School of Education to develop hot sheets to explain different abilities and tips for working with various disabilities. You can find these hot sheets on the Volunteer Resources page. If you scroll to the middle of the page under General Resources, you will see inclusion of all youth hot sheets. The hot sheets include the law, making adaptations, learning disabilities, emotional and behavioral disorders, children and youth with autism, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Each sheet includes the definition and description of the disorder, characteristics to be aware of, including learning and social characteristics, communication characteristics, and behavioral characteristics, tips for working with young people, and useful websites and additional resources. These are great resources for volunteers and staff working with 4-H youth. The hot sheet, Making Adaptations, is particularly helpful for all of you as you work towards a more inclusive environment. Another thing to consider is the need for good communication between leaders, parents, and staff. This isn't just for youth with special needs, but for all youth. Keeping communication lines clear helps avoid confusion, misunderstandings, and hurt feelings. If there are youth with special needs in your club or group, make sure you talk with the parent or guardian to understand as much as possible the unique needs of that person. What are the physical, emotional, or behavioral challenges that you need to understand so you can be that caring adult who ensures that young person has a fun, safe, meaningful 4-H experience? Most parents want to share with you strategies for working with their child to create a positive 4-H learning environment. They are the youth's best advocate. Something also to be aware of is Iowa State University Extension and Outreach Special Accommodations Policy. You can find the Special Accommodations form and the Documentation of Disability form on My Extension. If a family requests special accommodations, please work together with Extension's county and campus services to help respond to the request. The University of Wyoming has additional resources called Inclusive 4-H. They have additional fact sheets beyond the ones we created that share information and suggestions to consider as staff and volunteers working with youth with such abilities. One message in their materials that I really like is the message and reminder that U.S. staff and volunteers serve as role models for our 4-H programs. Some tips to help make it a successful, inclusive 4-H program include: display a positive attitude. 4-H members count on leaders to provide them with examples of how to relate to a member with a disability, and the best way to teach this is with words of encouragement and a smile. Everybody counts. Make sure each member feels he or she is an important and unique part of the group. Adaptation is acceptable. Take on the idea that we can work together to find a way to include everyone. If you have any additional questions, please work with your local county staff or connect with us, and we'll be able to help you as best as we can. Thanks, and have a great day.